Have you ever set a New Year's resolution only to find yourself off track before February even arrives? If so, you're not alone. Studies show that approximately 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by the second week of February. And that's only 6 weeks into the goal and people just throw in the towel. So please don't start any New Year's resolutions or any new goals anytime, really, until you hear what I have to say, because 80% is a startling statistic. But it highlights the crucial point, and that's the need for a well-structured plan, and also the need to understand how the brain operates regarding motivation and habits. So today I'm going to share with you what we therapists do with our clients to help them to meet their goals, and I'll share with you some tips from the popular book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which has sold a whopping 50 million copies since it was published in 2018. My name is Catherine Sloan. I've been a licensed therapist for over 20 years. Please subscribe to my channel and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. So let me tell you a story. Earlier this year, I had a client start therapy with me because she wanted to cut back on her alcohol use. She wanted to try to stay sober for 30 days, and she was drinking 3 to 4 drinks a night, and it was really making her feel stuck in life. She'd been doing this for a couple of years. When she would drink, she would then eat a bunch of junk food, and it just made her feel yucky, so she also wanted to stop eating chips. We spent at least 6 weeks just preparing for her to quit drinking. We were meeting once a week. Why did it take so long to prepare? Because I knew without proper preparation to meet this goal, she wouldn't have all the systems in place to support her, and she would fail. And then she would feel really bad about herself. And then she would continue to stay stuck. So each week I would just give her a different assignment to prepare for her goal to quit drinking for 30 days. And when the day finally came for her to give it up, she was very ready, extremely motivated and prepared. And then not only was she able to completely quit drinking for 30 days, she felt so great after staying sober for 30 days that she's now been alcohol-free for about 4 to 5 months and doesn't feel the need to drink anymore at all. And I'm going to bring her story up more later to talk about specifics when it comes to planning. The research shows us that planning is essential. A study by Dr. Gail Matthews showed that people who simply write down their goals, share them with a friend, and then send regular updates to those friends were on average 33% more successful in accomplishing their goals than those who just verbalize their goals out loud. So it's not enough just to say, I'm going to eat healthier, or I'm going to quit smoking, or I'm going to get in shape, because even if you are incredibly motivated right now, after having binged on all your favorite desserts for the past month, your motivation will die quickly in about 6 weeks into your goal, or maybe sooner. So grab a pen and paper and write down the word SMART, S-M-A-R-T. This is an acronym for you to use when preparing for your goal. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And these are the traits your goal needs to have. This could be something like, I will exercise for 30 minutes 3 times a week and incorporate vegetables into at least 2 meals a day. I'll do this for 3 months, then reevaluate and make some changes. It could also be, I will meditate 3 times a week for 10 minutes each time by using the Calm app. I will do this for 2 months, then reevaluate. But wait, of course it's not that easy, right? Of course it's not. Nothing is that simple. Even if it's a SMART goal, what happens 3 weeks into your goal when the motivation fades and you start to fall back into your automatic bad habits? What happens if you're on vacation for a week and you can't find the right foods to eat and just say, screw it? What happens if you're invited to a wedding and there's an open bar? What if the idea of meditating 3 times a week starts to feel impossible after your favorite show comes out with a new season? And that's where behavioral psychologist James Clear helps us with setting up systems that help us to reach our goals and change bad habits. His philosophy centers around 4 main ideas: making it invisible, making it unattractive, making it difficult, and making it unsatisfying. And I'm going to tell you what all those things mean. Number 1, making it invisible. So Clear advocates for reducing exposure to the cues of your bad habit. For my client who wanted to quit drinking and eating chips for 30 days, the first thing she had to do was to get all the alcohol and chips out of her house. It seems like a no-brainer, right? But a lot of people fail to do this part, then set themselves up for failure. According to Clear, our behavior is often a response to our environment. Therefore, by altering our surroundings to remove the trigger that makes us want to engage in the behavior, we can reduce this habit. For example, if you're trying to cut down on social media usage, you might start by deleting the apps from your phone or logging out of your accounts to make access less accessible. Don't just rely on your willpower to keep you strong. Like when my 18-year-old son was trying to cut back on social media, he actually traded his iPhone for a flip phone for 30 days so he wouldn't have any access to social media at all. He was able to make social media invisible. Number 2, make it unattractive. So Clear suggests highlighting the negative aspects of the behavior that you're trying to quit. So this might involve writing out the negative consequences of the bad habit. So for my client who wanted to quit drinking, she wrote down all the negative consequences to her daily alcohol use. It was things like, it makes me feel lazy, I tend to eat junk food when I drink, it's not good for my health, I don't have energy when I wake up. This involves changing the way you think about the bad habit. If you're trying to eat healthier, you might want to write down the negative consequences of your current eating habits. Maybe what you eat makes you feel bloated. Maybe you have high blood pressure. Maybe you spend too much money on fast food. Number 3, make it difficult. So this means you want to make it difficult to access the habit you're trying to stop. So if a habit is hard to do, you're less likely to do it, right? For example, if your goal is to stop jumping onto social media as soon as you wake up, then you'll want to put your phone in another room at night and maybe get an alarm clock to wake you up instead. And this way the phone is not available first thing when you wake up because you'd have to get out of bed and go to the other room to get your phone. So in this situation, you're setting up a barrier for yourself. I had a client this year who wanted to stop playing so many video games, so she decided she'd need to actually take her PlayStation to a friend's house because she knew that even if she put it in the trunk of her car to avoid temptation, that was still too easy for her to access. So she had to leave it at a friend's house. This made it invisible to her. And by the way, her doing this completely transformed her relationship in a very positive way. Another example of making it difficult is if you're trying to spend less money, then you could possibly leave your credit cards at home when you go out shopping and only carry a certain amount of cash that's in your budget to spend. Number 4, make it unsatisfying. So this could involve setting up some form of immediate punishment for the habit. For example, if you're trying to quit smoking, you could create a pact with a friend to pay them a certain amount of money each time you smoke. So if you're giving $20 to a friend each time you smoke a cigarette, that's going to really start to hurt. You can also join an accountability group or use apps that track your progress. It's very unsatisfying to have to tell somebody else when you haven't met a goal for the day or see in writing that you were making progress and now you're not. Sometimes apps will notify you if you need to get back on track with a behavior. Also, you will need to anticipate that you will lose motivation, but that does not mean you should change your course of action. If you fall off the wagon for a few days or even a few weeks, that doesn't mean failure. Just jump back in and start where you left off. So let me summarize. Before you start any new goal for the year, make sure you're spending plenty of time planning how you're going to meet your goal. Make sure they are SMART goals and then use Clear's 4 tips to set yourself up for success. You don't want to be a part of the 80% whose resolutions fail. Leave me a comment and let me know what goals you're going to be working on this year. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.